Hello, everybody. I realize I'm the one standing between you and happy hour, so bear with me. So I wanted to wrap up the day with a talk on AI. I think AI has featured prominently in a lot of the sessions today, and it's no surprise, right? So a lot of efficiencies to be gained by utilizing AI. So at Esri, we are all in on that, and all hands on deck to push the power of AI into our products in a responsible fashion. So why is AI and GIS powerful? And we've seen several examples already. Primarily because GIS data is massive, especially these days. Real-time sensors of all kinds are pouring in data, integrating with multiple data systems. All of that's coming in, and how do you make sense of it all? At a human level, you get to certain limits of that, right? So that's why artificial intelligence can help. Unlocking real insights from using analytics and identifying trends and patterns automatically while you're asleep. Let the AI do the work for you and provide that information product in the morning, right? But as you work throughout the day, there's things that you can do more efficiently in our product line or other products. So how can we improve the tooling of ArcGIS with more efficiency for you, the GIS professional? And then another aspect is just scaling out the impact of GIS, broadening the reach, if you will, making GIS more approachable to the non-professional, lowering the bar of entry to ask spatial questions. So that is that accessibility part of AI in GIS. So we tackle it in various different aspects, in the area of analysis, leveraging AI tools, extracting insights and making predictions and integrating with years of statistical knowledge in the field and leveraging these emerging models for that. Optimizing tasks and routines, with the idea of reducing human error. It's 4 o'clock. I'm feeling tired, but my guess is AI is still going strong. It doesn't need coffee for some reason. So then assisting us all with smarter working abilities and workflows to speed things up. So in ArcGIS, we've been doing AI in a certain way for a while, primarily in the area of geo AI, so extracting features from imagery, as Laura just demonstrated, using their own models and bringing that into the equation for their business needs. The vegetation encroachment example with high quality LiDAR that you saw earlier. These are those applications for analysis using AI, and the productivity aspect, letting people create maps with a conversation if they're not familiar with what tools to click and the SQL queries to enter, for example. So ArcGIS is now a geospatial AI platform. As I mentioned, geo AI is all about predicting and inferring text, feature detection and extraction. The AI assistants that we're bringing into the products, in the various products, for mapping and answering questions. And it's all powered by an emerging AI framework that we're building that's kind of foundational and stretching across our product base. So it powers, it provides the same kind of API-driven framework we've had in our enterprise and online suite of products, but now these are agents with particular skills like find me a route or geocode this text and things like that, right? Specialized agents that do certain pieces of work. And then integrating all those other pre-trained models, and using them as necessary to extract information, and leveraging the large language models and those developments that are happening at light speed, the GPT 4 or 5, on and on, right? Leveraging all those for our work, to enhance your work, really, in a quicker way. So that framework is being built to accelerate adoption. So this term GeoAI, we've heard a lot, and that's we've been at it for a while now, and you guys have probably used our tools in the Living Atlas, and it really is a catch-all phrase for things like pattern recognition, machine learning, computer vision, various data mining processes or approaches, and natural language processing. So wherever there's location, the most valuable attribute, I heard somebody say, how do we glean that from using AI from whatever source, like whether it's imagery, LiDAR, tabular, this unstructured text, etc. Now full motion video, 3D. AI can help us with these kind of senses that we're used to, right? Seeing things, reading text, learning from our past knowledge, analyzing content and data, and creating new things, or creating what you asked for. Hopefully not something you didn't ask for, as sometimes can hallucinate. So you got to watch for that. But these are the kind of the focus tools we have in each of those senses, if you will, for GeoAI, like object detection, land cover classification, leveraging Meta's segment anything model that has been a kind of a step forward, text classification, learning using AutoML and AutoDL, analysis capabilities, standard regression and other capabilities in statistics, and creating data, seeing, quote unquote, seeing through clouds, removing clouds from imagery based on AI's knowledge of what this should look like if there wasn't a cloud, and enhancing resolution of imagery. So if you have a low resolution image, using AI's knowledge of, again, other areas of the Earth, what this could look like in a higher resolution sense. So these are, creating more valuable data sets using these GeoAI techniques. So how do we kind of tackle it? We embed GeoAI tools and web services directly in our products. So ArcGIS Pro has an image analyst extension with a set of tools and capabilities. You can use the Python API. It has a ArcGIS Learn module that can leverage those deep learning models and packages. And then the pre-trained models that are available through our Living Atlas. And finally, the applications we have that kind of enable the end user to leverage all of that. So there's far too many pre-trained models to mention here, but things like well pad detection and oil spills, etc. Just about 100 pre-trained models available in Living Atlas, and several new ones coming online. And what's exciting, like I guess in the emerging space of this, is the sort of the text augmentation, the text segment anything model, where you can ask questions of imagery and get answers. So that is, things like, okay, what do you see here? And it describes to you what you see, in the image, or ask it to delineate the water body, flood, identify red cars and things like that. So these are capabilities that are being brought into the platform. So I can quickly show you a demonstration of the GeoAI in asset management, and let's see So what we have here is a set of tanks in a refinery, and if we want to rather than spend time digitizing the tanks, we want to use artificial intelligence to digitize it. Then we can point to this high-resolution raster that we have and specify the output data set for the vector tank images, and go to our Living Atlas and filter based on the DLPK, the deep learning package, and you see about 100 packages we have, and specifically we want to focus on the text SAM. So we find that and use that model here. And you can specify the text prompt. So search for circular objects and tanks. So as you can see, I kind of sped it up. It's done its business and finds the circular tanks in the refinery, right? So again, speeding up data creation. Another kind of frontier is classifying the image based on AI. So in this case, we want to find tanks that have rust, signs of rust on it. So we have context-based models now available in the Living Atlas. So it's a vision language model where you actually ask it to, I hope you can see that over there, ask it to, classify the images based on objects based on whether it has rust or no rust. So again, telling the image or the AI with natural language and have it do the work to classify your data. So again, an efficiency tool to accelerate that data creation and classification. So it also provides a description as what it finds in that the classification and adds that to your data set. We also, while we're out there, we want to also classify the vehicles that we see there. So it's done its part to classify the vehicles. The red ones, I believe, are pickup trucks or commercial vehicles, and then the green ones are cars. And this, I'm just transitioning over to this interface. And so this is a survey 123 survey where it is. It now has a capability to. Well, it's still in beta, this functionality, but you can take an image. You can attach a photo, for example, of a sign on one of those tanks that say, this is a hazardous material that's in this tank. So let's say you're out there taking a picture, and in this case, I'm just going to upload that picture, and it automatically looks at the signs and classifies the hazardous classification based on the sign that it sees on the side of the tank. And so, again, to speed up this asset data collection, you read the signs, interpret the symbols there, and do your data collection much faster. So in conjunction with the raster object detection, your in-person survey 123, ground verification, you come up with a robust kind of asset inventory powered by AI. So, exciting frontiers in this space of GeoAI. Now we are getting into the 3D space, again, with the high quality, LiDAR products and other kind of remote sensing products that are coming online, leveraging, point cloud classification models and 3D object detection classification from meshes, et cetera. So these are some of the emerging areas that we're focusing on in the space of GeoAI, because for several decades now, the world of 3D has been kind of beyond the reach in terms of efficient data creation, right? 2D has been easier to do, but 3D has been like, okay, it's just not efficient to just create your virtual model in 3D. And now with the push for digital twins, these are critical to the advancement of that. So the next area that we're focusing on, as we said, is empowering you all with productivity and efficiency tools in our product line using AI. So AI assistance in various products. So what does that look like? So for example, we have code generation assistance in in our products. We have documentation assistants who you can ask it questions in our documentation in natural language, and it responds. In ArcGIS Pro, specify a set of tasks you want to do, or tell it to generate a query. If you have a complex data set, you connect it to a database, and you want it to generate a complex query, like roll up my well production into my leases, or find me I don't know, pipelines within 10 miles of my wells or whatever, and all the data is in a geodatabase or even a non-geodatabase. It can do the assistant can help you construct that query, because I'm a GIS guy. I didn't go to school for SQL query construction, so this kind of assistant is really handy. Yeah. So and in other products, Survey 123 help you create a survey with a conversation, and business analyst, and throughout, this is in Teams, Microsoft Teams, having Copilot integration with the ArcGIS plugin there. We're also developing an instant app in ArcGIS Online. It's called the Data Explorer. Again, still in kind of the beta stage, and still it is in the early adopter program. If you're interested in joining that, please do as well. So a lot of applications where these assistants are currently in beta, and a lot of developments in the next year, a lot of these rolling into production. So this is one example of an assistant. How many of you use Arcade or know of Arcade? So the Arcade, those of you who don't know, it's Esri's scripting language used across most of our products now. It's based on the JavaScript syntax, but it is pretty powerful in terms of providing that light customization at a client tier, or even on the database tier with things like attribute rules. So what we have here is I want to add some volume information to my tank labels, but I'm not that good at math, or maybe the calculation for volume is tucked away in different attributes. So I can ask it a question like, let's speed this up a little bit. So basically saying, okay, label the tank by type and calculate the volume and round the volume up to the nearest tenth. So then it's taking your question, understanding your intent and creating Arcade code using your data schema, and then generating, and then from that point, of course, you're still in control. You can tweak it, add additional things that, we're adding a new line character, and then it shows up on the map, with that additional information, with the help of AI in this case. So this again is in beta in ArcGIS Online. So invite you to test that out. So it is these assistants are an opt-in feature. So in your ArcGIS Online organization, there's a setting for you to opt in. It's not yet in the enterprise suite of products. We're still using ArcGIS Online as our test bed for these integrations. So you opt in, and then the first step is that these assistants try to understand your intent. So when you type that sentence about wanting to label the tank based on the volume and et cetera, it understands that intent, and for that it needs a large language model. So it pings a large language model, gets that, and then it looks at your data. The LLM knows about Arcade, but it doesn't know about your data. So you have an engine in there to construct that particular code based on what your data elements are, and then it collaborates with you. You're in control. You can ask it further questions to refine that Arcade expression, for example. Ultimately suggest those actions for you, and you can choose to use it or not, right? So that's the idea of these assistants. They're scoped to your tools, the services that's within ArcGIS. So and of course, security is paramount in this exercise. So we are cognizant of needing guardrails in place for all of this. Because we have an AI framework we're building out, you can bring your own custom skills and agents. So, like for example, in ArcGIS Pro, we have the capacity for you to develop, like using our ArcGIS Pro .NET SDK, you can create your own custom AI skill if it's something specific to your business, or you can, ask it, query my reserve database or something like that, and and if you have access to that, then your agent that's embedded in there can do that work and bring that back into the picture, right? So I just want to show you an example of an application, and you probably may have seen an iteration of this where it's fully custom JavaScript-based application where we are asking a question, how far is Houston from Amsterdam? Well, and it answers it. It's just based on just general knowledge from the internet, right? So the LLM just knows that distance. Next is asking what type of information does this map have? Well, it has, so it reads the web map that's in place here and looks at the metadata for the web map and describes to you. So then a question you ask it, like, how many wells are there within, certain, another geography, and, with a certain spud date range. So it takes your intent, deciphers it, constructs functions to call, like, and it explains it here what it does, right? It queries the wells layer with the spud date filter, and then it does a proximity from the Netherlands country 100 miles, and then uses that as a special filter to filter the layer there. Another example, this was done for that OSDU project. Again, very similar type of attribute and spatial filter conversations here. So in this case, how many seismic reports do I have in this geologic basin? Well, it queries the basin layer that you see, kind of translucent polygons, and then uses that information to then search in your seismic layer. So it forms it follows a path like this. So in this application actually had speech, but I removed the speech for this. But the speech to text conversion, and then the AI in the middle, it will classify your intent. It will generate those queries and summarize the data. And in some cases, you can augment it with your own kind of data sources to what's called retrieval augmented generation. Finally, the functions that do the job are still the GIS core. It uses GIS skills, right? The queries and the proximity searches and filters and all that, and finally returns the results to the map. So fundamentally, we want to do this the right way with AI. So trust is critical, and so we're taking our time implementing these capabilities into our products. And you can go to our trust.arcgis.com website. There's an AI section, and it explains all of our philosophy and approach behind it. And especially on those deep learning packages we have available, we have metadata and transparency cards on how those models work in giving you answers. So just in kind of closing, what is this geospatial AI platform? So at the top level, at the interface level, there's your clients. We're empowering those clients with AI assistance all across the board. Then we have that framework tier of AI services, the REST APIs that you're probably familiar with our web services, but also we're adding AI services, an intent router that can route your questions and things to different agents to do different things, and then even getting that AI capability down into the data level. So even in your ArcGIS online or portal content, the search you've had there for years is not hasn't been AI powered. Now we're adding AI, search capabilities into that as well. And you can even think of, even your database is inheriting AI, right? Like especially the cloud databases. So leveraging all that together. So in closing, you can think of our AI platform as the Geo AI piece, our assistants, all powered by that AI framework. So any questions?